Shirley and I are just coming back from our short break.
So how many do we have?
Today we have 7 people so far.
Yeah, I think one of the things that was discussed in the last class was um, the fact that we had statements or comments that meant more than you can describe in English. So, and I'm glad that was brought up because I think that's true too. That certain things we say uh, to each other has some very special meanings. But, the fact is that in English, they do have the same things that when we try to translate it into Tlingit, it doesn't quite come across the same. So uh, languages have that, and we need to be aware of it. And the reason it came across to me was we were working with some kids on Zoom, and there was somebody in Juneau that was really good at translating real fast. And so they were, I don't remember if they were reading, or I think they were reading that statements such as, I was so surprised I almost fell over. Well, literally it doesn't happen, but when you translate that, it doesn't come across the same, with the same meaning with us. So they do have some terms and things like that they use is really great, that have different meanings. I I think my personal thought is the question, "How are you?" It's kind of interesting that they really don't want to know. They really don't want to know. How are you? And off they go without an answer.
I have
Where,
a
yeah,
I have a question. I just had two Tlingit phrases in my head, which were Adusawe and Shaksani Keek, and I'm just wondering what those mean.
do somewhere is, and who is it? And when you say where, it means the person is distance away. You can't tell. Uh, if you say, I'll do say, yeah, that means a person is close by. Like you go up to talk to some elder and you have your teenage child or something with you. And the elder can say, I'll do say, yeah, who's this? They want to be introduced. So,
And what is Shaksani Keek?
Sanikik is my name,
Oh, okay.
Gunket name.
Okay.
So you don't say Sanikik because you're supposed to put in your own name when you say knock knock, and I'll do so, and you say your name. Aya. So, and if you want to go over those two phrases.
Yeah. The two ones, Adusawa and Adusaya, those ones.
Yeah. And where you put your own name in.
Oh yeah, I'll show them. Yikwati. So, um, go down to knock knock. Okay. So just pulling up our knock knock dialogue here. The visitor says knocks on the door, knock knock, and the man who lives there says "Adu sawa." And so you guys go ahead and unmute your mics and repeat after me. Adu sawa.
Adu sawa.
Adusoe.
Ah. And then you say your own name in Aya. So when Shakhsani Keek taught this to you, she said Shakhsani Keek Aya. But here you'll put your own name. So I'll use my name, Nila Toga, and you all repeat after me, but use your own name. So Nila Toga Aya. Okay. Any questions about that?
I'm still trying to find my Klingit name.
Nice.
Is there any word for palace in Klingit?
How would you translate palace, Shakhsani Keek?
Alice.
Yeah, palace.
A clean hit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We might not have a direct translation for that because, that something like that is probably not a familiar concept in Tlingit culture. I mean, like we had big houses, like the longhouses and things like that, but the concept of a palace might be, very, very just, yeah, like what Sakun said, just a very large house.
Yeah.
Or the cut clean hit, like the big man's house. I don't know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah, I guess I don't
we
need.
we don't have an equivalent of that, but because it's a new word, it could be something we could work on and come up with something because it's a palace. We know it's a big house, but I think a palace has a better or a more meaning. We just got through talking about having meaning. It's just a different
Mhm.
words.
Yeah.
Yeah, how would you say like highest caste house?
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. I don't know. Yeah, my mom said a name could be Houday for some reason, but I don't. She has like other names that she thought of
Yeah.
too. Because my mom's name is means little bird. It's Tacy, after our ancestor.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
I
So
have a picture of our ancestor, and I'm looking at it right now.
I think it's something we can work on to have fun with, and it's good for us to come up with new thoughts.
Yeah.
And
Like
so
maybe like daughter of Tacy, or like daughter of little bird or bird. In the dictionary, it says songbird, but that's what they mean is like little bird, like one of those like tiny song little birds.
Yeah.
One of those.
Satsi is a little bird.
Yeah, that's her name. That's my mom's name.
Mm-hmm.
But it's in English. She writes it Tacy.
Mm.
And then daughter is
after they do two C's,
Ducis.
yeah, two C's, like
Tusi.
they see, no. So that's a little awkward.
Oh. Hmm. I was trying to look up the word for fancy when I was thinking of like palace, like fancy house.
Mm.
Yeah.
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 Fancy.
Right. Yeah.
Could it be Castellet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Katliqay.
Yeah.
How does that sound? Uh, Castellet means dance.
Yeah. 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 I I think that's good, but I also think Sakun was onto something earlier when because the palace is more like a place where royalty lives, you know, and the Tlingits did have we do have caste systems, and there were higher people up on the caste system, so there, it might be more appropriate to say something like fancy chief's house or I don't know something like that or just a thought, just a thought. So
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'm okay
yeah,
with daughter of Little Bird too,
yeah.
because that's my mom, and we have our ancestor here, picture of her, and we have our house that she used to live in here on the island.
Cool.
I just realized what Shaksani Keek was explaining to me earlier when she said there's two C's. It's because it would be tsatsi and then C. So the tsatsi would be songbird or little bird, and then the daughter of, you would add another C for daughter. So it'd be two of them. It might be awkward as a name. Tsatsi C.
That's easy.
Yeah. Ayacho
I
question.
like that name actually. That's a good name. Satsitsi.
CC.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good name. That yeah, sounds good to me.
Yes, and do a sock.
I just think it's fun when we come up against a new word or like a new term that we're like this conversation has been interesting, because we are it kind of gets our brains thinking a bit and thinking like in terms of Tlingit, and so that's
So
that's
you
a
know what
chill way.
the elders had to go through when they were confronted with new
Uh,
ideas, and I think it is kind of fun to pick something like that. And uh, I did it one time with Marshall Hawk. Uh, we were conducting a potluck, so we decided to put the menu on the board with whatever people brought. We were trying to put a Tlingit word for it. So
Mm.
that became really funny. Uh, and we came up with terms that, that uh, has been there all the time. We just never really applied it. So, um, it's not a term that has become common, but it could be done. That's what I'm trying to say. It could be done. So
Mm.
yeah, yeah, and to introduce something like a palace, so that's really something because visually we all have a different idea of what a palace could look like. So
Mm.
I,
If you were, oh, go ahead.
I told you about I tried to translate Cinderella,
Yeah.
and I came up against those terms um, because kings and princes and those ideas. The caste system we didn't have. We actually didn't have it.
mm,
Uh, it's a term that the anthropologists have come up with. It's uh, a classification of the head uh, of the chief councils. That there's usually a person that has more status uh, than the others, and the way they lived was a platform was built for them in the tribal house for them to live, and that's how the screens came to be because they decided to put up a screen so the family could have privacy, but his whole family lived behind that screen.
Mm.
And then people got the idea of, hey, there's a good place to put artwork. Start putting artwork on the screen.
Oh.
But we didn't have a person that says, me big chief, it was a council of chiefs. That's what
Mm.
my dad told me. But there was a spokesperson of that group.
Mm.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Thank you. So if I wanted to say fancy house, would I say kashliqai hit? Would that make sense? Shakhsani kik.
Yeah.
Mm. Is it awkward?
Uh, that kind of gives a description. It doesn't come across in the same way that a palace does to the English speaker.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay. Joel, you have your hand up?
Uh, I just have a quick question. What does what does the YE in the Kashigeyi hit represent? Like, why wouldn't you just say Kashigeyi hit? Is that because it's you have to have uh like it has to reference something to be able to anyway. Yeah, can you say more about that?
Yeah. Well, uh, if you say "Katlaqe hit," it still makes sense, but and I'm not sure. I'm pretty positive that uh, Rene would have a good explanation for it. But just as a general speaker, that kind of comes in there as part of the language. So it sounds uh, more accurate as a referral to a special place, a special house.
Uh okay, gonna sheesh. Yeah, okay. Sometimes I'm still, you know, I've been learning for about 5 years now, but things like that still confuse me sometimes. So I'm happy to have more understanding when things like that come up.
Good. That's
That's
awesome.
when you
Uh,
add a ye to it, it specifies a very specific place.
yeah. And then
Uh,
go ahead.
if you just say "Katlaqe," could apply to any.
Oh. I'm gonna add that as a note. Katliqi hit could be like any. The way I think about it, Joel, and it's good that you're noticing. It might be like, oh, I wish this didn't confuse me, but actually, it means that you're starting to see patterns and you're wanting more confirmation on what the pattern is. So take that as a sign that you're progressing in the language, and then just continue trying to see patterns. Like for me, since Tlingit is not my first language, one thing that helps me to think about is that I notice this gets added, this yi sound at the end of words. It gets added a lot when it's relating to two of the words to each other. And so you'll hear Khane call it a relational suffix, and most people will call it a relational suffix. But just think of it as like, oh, this is getting added and it's connecting these two words. So, katliqe is describing the house hit.
Oh, goodness, geesh, that's really helpful. I appreciate that.
Okay, good.
We had a discussion before class because we made a discovery and
Ooh.
marking ourselves down for that because of all the letters we have in the Lingit alphabet is we don't have a Z like in zoo or in Zoom. We don't have that letter, but we
Uh,
found one in a dictionary,
oh,
in the Tlingit dictionary.
what word was it in?
Shouldn't be in there. Sikudzi is
Oh.
that word we're going to use. That's amazing. Sikudzi.
Mm.
Uh, they spelled it with a Z, but we have an S if it's pinched. That sounds like a Z.
Oh, Likutsi.
Yeah, Sikudzi.
Goodness, Tish.
Yeah, Sikudzi is uh, the word is amazing, and it's in the dictionary. It's written with a Z, so we felt like, wow, we found something that's not right that was in print. So pass on the information to Institute.
Do you want me to go over the schedule with them?
Yeah.
Okay. So before I forget, I meant to show you guys the schedule last week and I got sidetracked. And so today, just so you have an idea of what you can expect to be learning over the next month, I put together our Shakhsani Keek and I put together our schedule. And we mostly wanted to share that the schedule is subject to change. So it's not written in stone, but we at least wanted to give you an idea, an outline,
Pattern.
a pattern, yeah, what to expect.
Goodness, Tish.
So I'll put this in the chat and then I'll just briefly show it to you. This is what it looks like. And so today is February 6th. And so far up to now, we've been working on our knock knock joke, our knock knock story, and our vowel sounds. We've had some really good discussions. We've started on our formal introduction, saying our name, and then moving forward, we're going to continue on with the formal self introduction. So we'll introduce two new lines. And then we'll also introduce two new lines of knock knock. Yeah, so then next class will be Thursday. We'll have two new lines again of knock knock. We'll do some breakout rooms if we have a big group. Right today we have 15 people. So we'll see how many people are on Thursday. Cultural discussions. We want to keep things relevant to how language applies in culture. We'll have a review day. Next one will be February 13th. We'll review everything we've been doing and then start getting ready for Elizabeth Pradovich Day. So Elizabeth Pradovich Day is the 16th. Yeah. And so that Tuesday and Tuesday we'll start discussing the Alaska Native Brotherhood and the civil rights movement started by them. And then on the 15th, we'll continue to celebrate Elizabeth Pradovich Day and her major contributions to the Civil Rights Act in Alaska. Then for the rest of the month, we're looking at another line of our self introduction, saying where we're from, continue with knock knock. And then we want to, on February 22nd, that would be that Thursday, we want to start an activity that we had done together previously where we bring in a cartoon with blank dialogue bubbles and we all get to work together as a class to make the dialogues in Lingit, which was pretty fun. Then by the end of February, we're hoping to finish the formal self-introduction and have a discussion on the cartoon. So that's what February will look like. Okay, is that good?
Gunalchish.
Yeah, looks great.
Okay. Okay.
I
Any
just want to
more?
mention.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I just want to jump in and just say, um, like, you might notice me looking down a lot, and it's because I'm taking notes on my phone, and it's not because I'm distracted or not paying attention. I was just feeling self-conscious about that, so that's all. Look away.
Don't worry. Earlier, yeah, no problem. That's good you're taking notes. Earlier today I've been teaching at UAA, and they asked me to open the window blinds because the sun started to come up. And then maybe half an hour later, I was doing something on the board and I felt this shift in the room and everyone seemed uncomfortable. And I just sort of briefly glanced over my shoulder. And when I finally looked at them, they were all like hiding from the sun because it just came over the mountains and it was blinding everybody. And nobody said anything. And I was like, wow, everyone seems uncomfortable. And finally, I looked at them. They're all covered in sun and couldn't see.
Yeah, we're happy that you're able to get the notes done. So if we speed up too much, we are putting the pressure on you because we found out the final dates. So I think that you can handle it because a lot of you already know how to give your introduction. But like I told you before, I have a special way that I want it done. So you're going to have to concentrate on that, doing it the way I put it together.
Okay. Yeah, Kwati. Yeah, Shakhsani Keek teaches a really good self-introduction because it forces us to make all the sounds of Tlingit that can be challenging to English speakers. And they're important sounds. So jumping into it, are there any more questions or comments before I jump in?
Well, was this the schedule for the rest of the month or the rest of the class?
That one's just for the rest of the month. Shakhsani Keek and I meet at the beginning of each month and plan out that month's schedule.
And maybe I didn't see this somewhere, but like, when does this class end?
April 30th.
Nice change.
I was hoping you were going to say never.
Yeah. But that's what we hope for too.
Yeah, we could all move in together and start a band.
Hey. Lingit Class.
Ah, that's our band name.
Call it Lingit Kudzi.
Hey.
What are you guys saying?
So,
Translation, please.
yeah, so the band names that just came up were, I'll just take you to where you can see it in writing. The first one was Lingit Class. So you can unmute your mics and repeat after me. Lingit Class.
Lingit Class.
And this is the title of a phrase book that was made by Nora Marks Dowenhauer and Richard Dowenhauer. It means say it in Tlingit. Yeah, K-Watch has a copy up. And then the other one was, what was the other one?
Lingit Likudi.
Yeah. So,
You're making me laugh, but I don't even know what it means.
Amazing Lingit.
Okay. Thank you.
mm. Yeah. Okay. I I'll go down a whole rabbit hole on band names, but we should probably stick to we just talked about this. We need to stick on our schedule because we are on a timeline. So let's jump into it and um, just reviewing. We did these two lines last week, but it's saying your name both in English and in Tlingit. If you don't have a Tlingit name yet, it's okay. You can use a name just for the time being as your nickname or your learning name, um, and just it'll fall into place as your language journey continues. So for the first one in English, I am called name. Go ahead and repeat after me. Only use your name here where it says name in brackets. So tleit kach ana yuchat duasak.
Played
Uh,
Kach, Enach, Dunedin Jackson, you cut do a sock.
the sock.
Good. And then in Tlingit, I am called name, and you can put your Tlingit name here. Uh, mine's a Gunana name, so I'm gonna say Gunana instead of Tlingit. But just repeat after me. Gunana Chainach Nila Toga Yuchat Duasak.
Lingit Enach, Sakun, you cut do a sock.
Do a sock.
Okay. Any questions on these two?
The order of this with the English name before the Tlingit name, is that,
Yeah.
what, can you explain that a little bit? The protocol for that?
Yeah, Shakhsa Nikik doesn't matter if you put your English name or Tlingit name first.
That was a pattern I just put together, but it's I I think it works because they know you. A lot of people would know your English name.
Mm.
Say that's my English name, but here's my Tlingit name.
What did you say daughter of Little Bird is? Could you write it in the chat for me, please?
Ah, I just need a spell check tzatzit because I was looking for it in the dictionary and names. So let's do.
I was once told by one of my elders that the way he prefers introductions is your traditional name, and then you say Aya Khat instead of Khat, you do a Sak. It's because instead of saying like this is my name or I am called this, you're saying I am.
Nice.
So yeah, in my introduction, I had been counseled to say Sukun Ayachat, and then I follow up with the Tlekach Renach Dunedin Jackson Yuchat Duasaf, which is just me saying like I am Sukun. In English, I'm known as.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Everybody does it different.
Yeah, like we said, the reason we teach it this way is specifically so that everyone will be practicing the rounded K, the KW, and practicing the sounds. Yeah, but I think it, like Shakhsani Kik always says, it's your self-introduction, so it's how you like. Joel, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, like we had talked about the, Tlingit names and that. I just wanted to mention that I don't have a Tlingit name, but for the purposes of this group and for you know what I would like to be referred to as in this group, the name that I have chosen for myself, just in these, in just for these class purposes, is Tuwu Shatsin, which
Oh,
means
okay.
like inner strength or spiritual strength.
Okay.
So that's the term that I would like to be referred to as in here. You can still call me Joel, of course, but just since we're moving towards having more of our traditional names be represented. So
Ah,
Ashish,
okay.
Tuwuk, Hatsin.
Ah, two Latin.
After
Would you
this
be
class,
oh,
in order to pass this class, uh, we will follow the pattern that I have, and you won't be restricted to. So what you have learned, you can go ahead and use.
Oh,
When I put
goodness,
it together,
cheers.
I
thank you.
am assuming that people will generally call you by your English name, and the old people will say, "Well, tell me about yourself. What is your name? What is your name?" That was the thinking in putting this together.
Mhm.
Okay.
sorry, I didn't quite catch that last part. The elders would say, "Can you tell me about yourself?" Is that
The last part that Shaksani Keek was saying is what was it, Shaksani Keek?
Uh, I- the part that I'm assuming that I already know who you are English, and start talking to them and say, "Who are you?" Then you can start telling them who you are and think it.
Mhm.
Personally, I feel as an elder, tell me your Lingit name. I'm not interested in your English name.
Yeah.
So it's just a pattern as instructors that we come up with. It's not
Mhm.
cultural rule or anything, anything like that. So you have to forgive me.
Always.
Pati Gonalchish. To answer your question, Palace, about daughter of Tzetzi, let me just spell check. C for daughter. I think it's S, high tone E.
Mhm.
Ayachakwa? Daughter. Yeah, C. So you add C at the end of the person's name to say that person's daughter. And for yours, if your mom's name is Tzetzi, then daughter of Tzetzi would be Tzetzi C.
Let's see.
Ah, I'll put it in the
Yeah.
chat like fast. Ah, okay, cool. Awesome. Two, Litzine, you have your hand up?
Like, sorry.
Oh, is that from before, probably?
It's really
Uh,
a wonderful choice to say the inner strength of somebody that's really good. Like,
Ah, Kanachieke. Really good.
This is Kua. I found that last week the X's and the pinched X's were something new for me. So that's kind of something I try to want to work on more because it's everybody has their own goals here and those are very challenging for me.
Good.
Yeah,
underline.
But I did write the notes where you were saying exactly how to do the pinched K versus, one's in the mouth, one's not in the mouth. And it's interesting, but it does take practice.
Yeah,
I'm learning, takes a lot of practice.
it takes thought to see it, and it needs to pop in your head. You won't do that right away, but you do get it. So,
Okay. You
yeah.
promise? Could I have that promise in writing? I'm just
Hey,
teasing.
we're a verbal culture. No.
Oh. Okay, thank you.
We all witnessed her say it.
I have another question.
Okay, 1 second, Palace. Shirley's trying to talk. 1 sec.
If somebody says something to you about how do you spell this, it's got you hear a K, and you make them say it again. It might be K or underlined K, or pinch K. You click on it. Be aware
Okay.
of K's that we have. Okay, somebody else had a comment.
Go ahead, Palace.
So, my dad has a store. And I kind of think of myself as like being the daughter of the store. Because my parents had it before I was born and then had the one in Portland after that when I was only 3. And the store is called the Red Light. So I was thinking about like if there's a word for like I know daughter is say I'm wondering if there's like a word for like a red light, like the red light. Because that could be another name for me, also.
Okay. Yeah, while we're talking about it, we can just brainstorm words and I'll spell check them. So whenever I'm trying to translate something, I'll start from memory to the best of my memory, writing down, for example, red, and light, tsina. But I need to double check my spelling because it's not my first language. So I need to check my tones. I need to check if I have the pinch in the right spot. So yeah, I'll start with on for fire and see if that's right.
Yeah, I was told that we don't really have just words for colors. It's always in relation to something. So like black is tuch yachyati, which is like it's like charcoal. Or red is khan yachyati, which is it's like fire.
Um,
Each color has two meanings,
Two.
Ooh.
except blue. I think.
My dad's store is almost like a giant womb. It's red on the inside, and it's like a second. It was the second home after being in the womb, and it's like a giant womb for me in a way.
Okay, so I'm just spell checking. I see tsina needs to be a high tone A. So I'm gonna fix my spelling here.
But yeah, I used to live there as a small child, with my family, with my dad and my mom, and then my dad still has the same store in Portland, and he had the one in Seattle before that.
Nice.
So it's like a family thing, and like I almost feel like the red light itself has like raised me, like all the employees, and like
We'll
just
keep
learning all these amazing things from my parents and my aunt who also used to work there, and it's like a family business and everything too, and
that's
it's
awesome.
very
We'll
familiar.
keep going with our sorry for cutting you off. We just have to watch the time and we do have to keep on our topic.
Yeah,
Yeah, didn't mean to cut you off, sorry, but we'll keep talking about your name and keep brainstorming. It doesn't have to be decided today, and we'll keep working on it. So,
yeah,
uh
thank you for your help.
yeah, okay. So our previous question was challenge with underlined X's and pinched X's. And so since that's part of our self-introduction, we'll keep practicing them. And we'll start with this word. Everyone go ahead and unmute your mics and just do your best. Repeat after me. Einach.
Enough.
Pena.
Again. Einach.
Pena.
Enough.
Yeah, your tones sound good. They're both high tone vowels, and the first underlined X is pinched and the second one is not. So let's keep going. The first half of this word, repeat after me. A.
Hey.
Good, you're sounding better. Repeat after me. A.
Hey.
Hey.
Good.
Hey,
Yeah.
mouse.
Yes, Shaksani Keek just explained A. This part of the word is your mouth. A.
Eh,
Hey.
Yeah. This next part meaning through it, repeat after me. Nach.
Nach,
Nach.
Again, nach.
nach,
Nach.
Enough.
Okay. Okay, nach.
nach,
Pena.
Enoch.
This is where we want to start distinguishing. It's not a K sound. So in a K, you hear an actual touch between your tongue and the top of your mouth. K. The air actually stops. With X's, you're closing the gap, but you're just creating friction. So the air is still moving through. So instead of K nach, it's K nach.
Pena.
Enoch.
Good. I didn't hear any. Good. I didn't hear
I
any
kind of
Ks.
think of it as like I'm almost dragging the X a little bit in my mouth or something, like
Oh, okay.
out a little
Dragging.
bit.
Nice. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, thank you, Joel, for that.
Uh,
Enoch.
Einach. So one more time. Einach.
Pena.
nach,
Okay.
Dragging.
And the whole phrase, this part means in English. So repeat after me. Tleitqal einach.
Leotard. Pena.
enough.
Again. Tleitqal einach.
Leotard. Pena.
nach.
Good. Shirley, how do we sound so far?
It sounds good. Just remember if there's a D, L, you say both letters.
Delay.
Oh,
Yeqati.
need to sound the D, delay.
Tleid. Tleid. Okay, let's do it again. Tleitqal einach.
Leotard.
Enough.
Enoch.
You said something earlier about the TL when we pronounce both letters and the L is pronounced like an English L, the voiced L. Is that the same here with the dlate,
Yeah.
or is it the unvoiced L?
When the L is combined with a D or a T, then you say
Then
both.
sorry, can you say that again?
When the L is combined with a T or a D, you sound both letters.
And is that a voiced L or an unvoiced L?
They're both voiced L if they're combined with a D or a T.
That's cheese.
Okay. Good question. Any more questions so far? Okay. So the whole phrase, in English, I am called name. Fill in your name in the blank here, and repeat after me. Tleitqal einach ana yuchat duasak.
Enough. Joel, you cut to us out.
Good. Nice. And then in Lingit, I am called blank. Lingit einach nila torah yuchat duasak.
Lingit,
Lingit
Iwasaq,
Iwasaq.
Okay. Okay, new lines. Continuing on with our self-introduction, next line would be, I belong to the clan name clan. And so I put clan name in brackets so that if you know your clan name, you can put it here. I myself, on my mother's side, am white American of German descent. So, and we can kind of navigate these for those of us who are mixed heritage. You can fill in the blank. So I might say Jamana Chetcity. Other options would be white woman Tleit Shawat Chetcity. I don't really use that one. I prefer to try to go by ancestry. Um, Another one I've heard for is like European immigrants, people at the base of the clouds. Gutskekwan na Chetcity. So that this phrase is what clan you are, which is the clan you are on your mother's side. Does that make sense? Okay. And then saying what house you're from, if you know your house, from the clan house name house, you would put clan house name. So if you're from Diskhit, then you would say Diskhitach. So let's start with the top one. Repeat after me. We'll use, Shirley, should we use Kagwantan as an example?
Woohoo! Kagwantan.
Represent.
Yeah. Because we could just use one, or we could put our own clan name here. Let's do them both. So let's pretend we're all in the Kagwantan and repeat after me. Kagwantan na Chetcity.
Kagwan.
Mm-hmm. And now repeat after me, just using your own clan on your mother's side. Jamin na Chetcity.
Kagwantan.
Kiksadi Nachatsiti.
Is Raven Clan one of them, like from Klingit? Because my mom said that we're Raven Clan.
Okay. You could also put your moiety. So Raven is a moiety. And Shaksani Keek, did you want to add anything about that?
If they don't know the clan, but they know they're a raven. It's their choice. I mean, it's their introduction. They could put it together the way they want. So if they want to say the raven, no, it's still correct.
Okay.
So
My
the underlining
mom will know
X's,
the answers.
are the underlining X's for the two words the same sound?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the same sound, but they're the same sound, but you'll hear it twice because it's once in nach and next in chet. This first X that you see is part of a pattern. If you're saying I am of the blank clan, you use this pattern siti chet siti. So chet is me. I'm talking about that I am of this clan. If you're using the verb siti for to be, it has to come with this other underline X that gets added to the thing you are, the group you are. So clan name could be moiety, clan, nation. You're saying that you belong to that clan, so it'd be nach chetzeti.
There's a slight break between the two X's.
Okay.
CT. So
Okay. Gonna chish.
run it together. It's nah. CT.
No.
Take your time.
So for people of mixed descent, um, is there like a clinkatized name for Filipino?
Ah,
Yeah,
Filipino,
there is.
Pinoy.
Well, this is good to know. My aunt's Filipino.
Mm,
Unfortunately.
Tatsuyayati, my outer shell, my Akhdakhanuhu is also Filipino.
Outer shell. What do you mean?
It's your
Outer
grandmother's father, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Your Dakhanuhu. Yep.
Yeah, we're not going to go that far.
Yeah.
It's deep.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll dial it back.
Very, very
Filipino would still be great.
I do. So my mom is also a Tlait Shawat. She's a white woman. And so had she done things properly and had been adopted, she would have been Eagle Moiety because my dad is Raven. So I say that I am Ch'akna Chatziti. I am the child of the Eagle Moiety because technically I can't be Raven because my dad's Raven and we follow our
Yeah.
mothers, and my mother's white and she was not adopted properly. But if it had been done right, she would be Eagle. So I say that I am Eagle.
Oh,
Okay.
again, I like to specify that when we put this together, it's your introduction. We don't want to say how you need to do it. That you put it together to describe yourself and your family.
Mhm.
So no apologies, just the way you want to be known.
Good night, Tish.
Kanachike, gonarchish. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah. And I think it's awesome the way you introduce yourself. Okay, we got 2 minutes left. Really good discussions. I keep wanting to jump into the book to all these other terms you guys are bringing in, like Akhdakanuku. Oh, we never answered Kwech, which was, is there a Tlingit translation for Filipino?
Yeah, there is, but we'll have to look into it
Yeah,
because that's such a big thing. With,
Mm-hmm.
gonna teach.
uh, if Edna is on the line, she might know.
I don't see her on the line, and I know that she gave us advice about this last time we taught together.
I
Now,
have a question. When you're saying that what house you're from, if I'm from the box house, I'm Kagwantan Eagle from the box house. If I'm from the box house, do I say house? Do I say box hit or box house? Or how would I say that? Do I eliminate the word house because you're saying hit?
hook hit, hook hit.
Kook hit.
Oh,
Yeah.
hit. Okay, so I don't say box house at all. I say a different term.
What do you say?
I don't know what I usually say box house, but only because I'm a beginner and I don't know how to say it properly.
Oh, yeah, Shirley just translated for you. Box is
Oh,
Cook hit.
kook. Yeah.
oh, cool.
So I'll zoom in. In
Yeah,
this,
underline K. Hook.
mhm.
Yeah, so you would just replace the
Okay.
Tlingit
Oh,
for it.
okay, I see. Thank you so much.
You're
Cook,
welcome.
cook. Could
Yeah.
you pronounce that?
Yeah,
Is
everyone
that
go ahead and repeat after me. Kook hit.
Cool.
hit?
It,
Phuket.
Yeah, it's an underline K for that first one. Kook
Okay.
hit.
There. Cook,
Cool.
cook, hit. Okay. Gunas chish.
Ah, okay. It's a really good discussion. We're out of time, but for people that want to look at this graph in the meantime, but until our next class, what I'm looking at is the beginning Tlingit workbook, and I'm on page 84. And this is a nice list of clans, their crests, and their houses. And it's not all comprehensive. There might be information that's not documented here, but this was a compilation of a lot of people's work.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, that looks nice.
Goodness, geez.
Oh,
Uh,
grandpa was.
Before
Ooh,
we
nice.
go, Shachsani was starting to say something. I just make sure she had time to finish her thought.
Yeah, the Kagwantan had a lot of houses.
Mm.
So it's a kind of amazing to me to finally hear about somebody from the Phuket. There's the box house, and then they had a house that burned down.
Oh,
Hmm.
deep down.
Kawagani hit, burned up house, and that's where Kagwantan came from.
Oh,
Oh.
burnt
Kagani.
timbers. Is that the name for it?
Yeah,
that's so
House
cool.
of burnt timbers
Wow.
or something like that.
Burnt
yeah.
timber.
Apparently the house didn't get
Mhm.
completely destroyed, so they worked on it, but renamed it the burned house.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. I
Mhm.
learned something new. Thank you. Goodness cheesh.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Shachsani any more thoughts or comments before we close?
If you have any questions, let us know, and we will look up and talk to Edna about that. Good word for it, but,
Das Tschüss.
Oh.
Uh,